Listen.
You might be aware there was a line from the trailer that went sort of viral. Do you remember that?
What was it?
It was the line that says, "He was in the Amazon with my mum when she was researching spiders right before she died." Do you remember that going viral?
No.
Just out of the context of it, it was just a very...
But isn't any sentence out of context out of context?
Yeah, very true.
What a silly thing.
So Madam Web finally released where it should have officially. The garbage. And this is easily one of the worst movies that I've seen this year. This feels like the preview of the movie that they really wanted to make. You know, it's one of those where instead of a special thanks in the credits, it should have said I'm sorry. And what's crazy is that the reason it takes place in the early 2000s and has every character not seen in the new Spider-Man movies is because Sony really thought they could connect it with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Then it tested so bad, they had Parker disappear faster than No Way Home.
So how does it feel to be like in this Marvel universe as a superhero?
It was the same as 50 Shades, just with more clothes on.
They've got Sydney Sweeney admitting that she only took it to get more roles from Sony. Michael Keaton said he's only suiting up to eat at Crafty. Dakota dropped her agency the moment this movie premiered. And yet, I think Morbius was worse. That was one that I did so badly in the LME that legit Sony stopped inviting us to screenings ever since that video. On Aunt May, they got me back on GoPhobo codes if I ever want to catch an early screening. Like even at festivals, if I ask for screeners, they lie and say that there's none until I get a buddy to ask for a screener and then they send it to them. So while the other studios don't mind me keeping it honest, Sony definitely went out of their way to blackball us, and I wouldn't take a single thing back. As for this one, it's one of those that's so bad, man, I almost had a good time.
I haven't actually seen the movie.
Haven't you?
But in case scary movies keep you up, let me give a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Manta Sleep, the premium sleep mask that helps you get the best night's rest by delivering a 100% blackout. They've got a series of models with all of them being adjustable to fit just right with zero pressure. They're all machine washable, and they come with these interchangeable cups that you can upgrade to scents or gels, literally any way that you want to customize the way you like to snooze. They even sent me the sleep mask sound that comes with wireless Bluetooth speakers that don't get in the way for side sleepers like myself, but it lets you doze off to the sounds of whatever brings you peace. So if you're interested, click the link down below and use code LETMEXPLAIN at checkout to get 10% off your order. That way, you ain't gotta see those ghosts. Or worse, terrible movies.
I grew up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, so I guess I'm the most familiar with him. Sorry, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland and Miles Morales.
So with a full spoiler warning, let me explain. So the movie begins in the Amazon where her mother's out there researching spiders right before she died, specifically because she's looking for a cure for something. That's when we meet Ezekiel as well, who's there stealing her research and getting more zoom-ins than a daytime soap opera, and then shoots Mama Web while she's pregnant because he wants all the stuff she learned.
What?
Luckily, these mystical spider people that they were mentioning also live in the Amazon, and they come in and save the baby's life, not hers. It then jumps to 2003, which you can tell because they keep cutting to the same Beyonce ad, but here we find out that she's a paramedic who's rescued one of the girl's family members, almost runs one of the other girls over, and then watches the third girl almost get evicted.
Kids.
They pretty much saw Michael Bay's ambulance and said, how can we make the worst version of that?
Cassie's driving skills are, I don't know if you would call them skills.
While rescuing someone who's dangling off of a bridge, Ben decides to ignore physics and pulls out the driver, causing Cassie to collapse with the car, which then triggers her powers. So this is going like full Catwoman minus the Halle Berry.
But you guys, what about them? And he was...
She then starts going through these visions that are meant to be like parallel options or versions that she can take, but really it just makes a movie that shouldn't be 2 hours long drag because they keep re-showing you the same scenes.
Bad dream?
It's not a dream. I'm gonna be murdered one day.
Oh, wow, that's a buzzkill.
As the writers try to figure out what her powers are, we get reintroduced to the bad guy who's always been having these terrible visions also, specifically this dream where he gets beat up by the young cast and then killed when he's thrown from the top floor, which to me is easy to fix. Just never live on the top floor and just keep using Just for Men. Boom, problem solved, vision beat.
Believe me, it's a good thing you had no idea today was the day you were going to die.
Pretty sure it's worse that she did. After seducing a security lady to come over, he gets access to all of the cameras around the city that were set up for some reason in NYC 2003. And look, I do think this guy's a good actor because he's in one of the best under-the-radar movies of all time that I'm always shouting out, A Prophet. But they got Tahar in this thing sounding like he recorded his lines originally in French on set. Then they made him come in after the fact and dub himself. Like, bro, I thought I had a cam copy in the theater.
But in the future, they have powers, and they will try to destroy me. I came from nothing, less than nothing. I will not give up
everything I've built.
Like, this man was on the left side of the screen, but was talking out of the right speakers. Honestly, the biggest villain of the movie was the dialogue, because even that big line from the trailers
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
isn't even in the movie. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's actually said in parts, so they then just combined it for the trailer, and that just makes her look even more dirty. But again, we're talking about a company that was officially releasing text-to-speech teasers.
What if you could see the future?
Come on, let's go.
What if you had the power to change it?
Let's try that again.
Meanwhile, Cassie's at a baby shower, acting totally normal.
Well, my mother actually died in childbirth. Oh, well, but it wasn't that bad.
They then do a Peter Parker Easter egg by having the moms not guess the name Peter Parker, because it's like a hidden homage. Before they get in trouble by Feige, they cut to the next emergency, where she keeps reliving the same scenes and knowing that something bad's gonna happen.
This is O'Neill. Clear up dockside.
And then something bad happens. From there, she gets on the train 3 times, and that's where she keeps getting another vision of these 3 girls getting attacked. And look, I think each of these actresses has been in good stuff and even delivered good performances, and hopefully this is the one that got them paid. Because the way the director breaks them down, I thought was hilarious. Like, they're not even characters, they're stereotypes. For starters, there's Maddie, who's traded in her Ghostbuster skates for a skateboard.
So I remember when Celeste came on set, they're in their costume, and I said, don't you wish you had that when you were younger?
Anya is the book exploradora who dived into her studies after her family was taken away.
One of my favorite Isabela moments is when she says,
my dad got deported 6 months ago.
And then there's Sydney Sweeney as Julia, who had the honest trailer being a little too honest.
A schoolgirl who, come on, be normal, wants to,
I won't lie. The concept of him jumping from train to train is a cool idea, but the fact that they can just escape by a taxi makes him look goofy.
That was insane. They better lock him up, right? I mean,
have identified the woman in her early 30s. The public has been asked for
what?
information.
After kidnapping them and tossing their singular phones out the window, she takes them out to the middle of the woods where, in order to protect them, she just abandons them.
I can see the future.
oh, what the hell?
See? She didn't see that coming.
She goes back home to look through the book that she's always looking through, but it turns out she's never looked through. Like, her mama died for this research, and she never went through it. This guy's in the picture with her that you're staring at, and he wasn't recognizable.
Las arañas.
The girls then head to a diner, completely forgetting that they were, just attacked and their lives are in danger. And somehow this man here has a paper that's covering the attack that just happened a couple hours ago, so he calls it in and gives Zeke the heads up. Things then get toxic as Cassie finds the girls grinding on the diner table before getting assaulted again by Spider Baddie. And I'm still questioning how she can get stabbed and then still get to restart like a video game, something she won't do later when she loses her vision. Even though she just walked to it, it now takes her longer to drive there, but it allows them to do this practical stunt so that they can escape again while she keeps wrecking all of NYC Transit.
The only thing I know is that in the future, they also have powers.
The girls? The girls have powers in the future?
Yeah, Dora, that's what they just said. She then drops them off with Emma Roberts and Uncle Ben as she goes to Peru, and they just make a mess of this place. Like, I would Uncle Ben them. But then they get to be there for the birth of Spider-Man, which is a crazy take considering what they wanted this to connect to. And it's just weird looking at the Easter eggs, because again, I don't get what the tease is if you have comic fans buying tickets, and then you're gonna show Peter Parker's mom and tease that she's Peter Parker's mom giving birth to Peter Parker. Like, it's such a weird inside joke that it feels like they're literally edging themselves.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
It's also funny because if you include these spider people, that would then mean that Peter Parker plagiarized his whole style. The suits that they marketed in the trailers are also not even used by them. It's all the bad guy's dream. Like, the fact that the official suit, even from Adam Webb, was leaked through an ocean spray bottle, that tells you everything you need to know.
I have always really loved Marvel movies.
I mean, what % of Marvel movies have you seen? Again, just...
4%.
4%.
Which is like 15 minutes of one.
Even wilder is that they try to do this callback where the lady who can see and change the future says this to Uncle Ben.
Never thought I'd be this happy to be back in Queens.
What, you've never been shot at in Queens?
Uncle Ben! Call an ambulance! Someone call an ambulance!
She then goes to the Amazon to see why her mom was researching spiders just before she died and comes across Peruvian Fabio, who was the guy who saved her when she was a baby. And then he just Doctor Stranges her.
She's not flying around and spinning webs, but she is weaving tentacles or webs into the world as an information gathering tool, and that's the sort of visual analog. But
you're weaving in and out of making sense, bro. She then gets to rewatch the beginning of the movie as she walks into her flashback, and she finds out that this guy killed her mom. And at that point, like, I'm not wasting any more time. She also finds out that she's been hating her mom this entire time because she went to the Amazon and didn't realize that she was there to cure the disease that she had as a baby.
And I loved the idea of a young woman having her superpower be her mind.
She then steals an ambulance when she makes it back to the States. The bad guy is also pulling a national treasure, messing with the streetlights in order to capture the girls, but Cassie keeps on crashing. And somehow this vehicle is still okay to escape. Cassie then decides to take the final fight to the most dangerous rooftop, brought to you by Pepsi. And before she can even become Spider-Woman, she becomes Captain America. The bad guy then sets up that classic scenario where she either has to save one or the other, but she can't save all three, until the writers say, yeah, she can. She ends up wrangling them together as the bad guy's vision just never comes true, and instead he gets killed by a soda sign. Literally, gravity was pushing P3, he got popped.
Oh, that's really funny. You're such a funny guy.
The girls then finally do some saving by rescuing Cassie out of the water, where she got hit by a power blast, leaving her eyes completely disfigured. Something I guess she didn't see coming.
Can I get you anything?
Eyes. She then becomes their mother, guiding them through a recap for a movie we're never gonna get, as the film ends right where it should have started.
We'll be ready. And you know the best thing about the future, it hasn't happened yet.
Just like the sequel. Thank you all for watching this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. I can't believe that the final images of this movie look like fan art. Like, it's the one official frame of a superhero movie with the superhero suits, and they got like a Gaussian blur thrown in there. I mean, other than the dream sequences and the ending, it's weird that we're not going to see them with, you know, all their powers. I know that Sydney's supposed to use these electrical webs, Dora's got a flying disc, Lucky's got like the Infinity suit, but until the real MCU decides to bring them in for like nostalgia over a decade from now, it's not gonna matter. Like I said, it's not even Sony the company, right? It's the company men, the people who are running it, that keep making these goofy decisions at this moment. Because some of y'all remember how much I loved searching back in the day. Like, some of y'all thought they were paying me for that. They even hooked me up with interviews and were pushing my videos. Like, they really saw my honest passion for that movie and jumped on it. But the moment I didn't give them the good promo they wanted for other releases, man, I was missing from that searching sequel invite. And they got a lot of room. But hey, I do this to stay true to myself and for y'all, always, because, you know, people will always come and go eventually. As for the movie, I had a couple of That's So Raven jokes that I was going to make, and then I searched it up, and it turns out she did an ad with them?
Hi, John from the Madam Web marketing team. And yes, I would love to make a video for you.
Whoa. How did you know I was calling you to ask you that?
Because I can gaze into the future.
I'd say they spent the money on the marketing over the movie, but then you look at the posters and it's just all the same PNG. Other than that, let me know your thoughts on this movie or any others. What big Marvel movie, I think there's only one, but what Marvel movies are you looking forward to this year or the next? And until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll send you the script to Spider-Man 4.
He was in the Amazon researching spiders with my mom before she died.
Yeah.
That seems like a basic storyline to me.